Welcome to lesson 2. We're going to be talking about making that offer on the home that you desire and finalizing your lending. So, another great reason that we talked about having a realtor on your side is making that offer. It's a really intimidating process. How much do I offer? How much is the home really worth? They have it listed for $500,000. Is it really worth that? Or should I offer $450,000? All these are questions that are definitely, obviously, and understandably going through your mind. That's another reason why realtors play a crucial role. We talked about that arm's length. It's literally a term in mortgage, an arm's length distance from the seller, and they're just representing you to make sure that they investigate. They look at comparable sales. Let's say the house that you're making an offer on is $500,000. They'll take that house and they'll run it through a data bank and they'll see what other things are selling for. And they might say, hey, we need to hurry up and make an offer. It's really worth $520,000. Yeah, let's get in and get this at $500,000. Or they could say, I don't think we should offer $500,000. All of the comparable sales are $450,000. I think we need to go a little bit lower. It's definitely a cat and mouse game. It is negotiation at its finest. A house is actually worth whatever a buyer is willing to pay for it. So let's get back to making that offer. Attorneys in some states are the ones that actually draft the offers. And every state has a certain form that's formal, that's a fill in the blank form to make an offer on a home. So your professional is going to help talk to terms about you. What are we going to offer on the house? We did this analysis. They're going to go over the contract with you and talk to you about the most vital, important parts of the contract. Now, I won't go over all of those points here because every state is a little bit different, but that's what the realtor and or the attorney's job is. They know these contracts and they're going to lead you through everything that you need to know. The price, the deposit required, is there a fee or is there a period of time for inspections? At what point is there no return? At what point do you have to buy the contract without being in default and get your deposit back? There's terms for that, and that's another reason why using a realtor is so very crucial. So this document is going to be filled out by your realtor. You'll sign it. These days, everything is pretty much DocuSigned. It's on the computer. You'll e-sign it. And they'll present your offer to the seller via the seller's realtor if they're using a realtor. Now, there'll be negotiation back and forth. Sometimes things are accepted right away, and sometimes there's a note that'll come back and say, if this, then that, if you agree to these terms, then we'll do this. So let's say back and forth happens, then the seller will sign your very last offer of the terms that they've agreed to. When both parties sign, it's go time. It's live. How long is a normal closing? 30 days is kind of an average expected time. We've closed in less time and we've closed in more time. There's no specific number. It's whatever number of days is relevant and agreeable to you and the seller. I will make an important note here though. If you're getting a loan and not paying cash, you need to make sure to check with your lender to make sure that whatever timeline you're about to agree and obligate yourself to is something that they're able to help you with. And this leads me to another important fact about lenders and which lender you might or might not want to choose is timeline. Some lenders can close quicker than others. If your particular situation needs to close very quickly because of a lease expiring or a divorce or a house selling, there could be many different reasons. Ask your lender if they're able to accommodate that timeline. If you sense that the answer is no, that's also another good reason to get a second opinion on a company that can help you to accommodate the timeline that you have. So that's a really important note at this part of the process. Once that contract is finalized, It's go time, and it's definitely time for you to immediately check in with your lender. Now, at this point, you may or may not have chosen a lender. Let's say, for example, that you had 3 lenders that you went through the pre-approval process with. Immediately, when you know that you're negotiating, it's an amazingly good idea. I'm urging you to check in with those lenders that you're considering giving your business to. As a consumer, it's your choice, but I urge you to respect the deadlines that are now in place because you have a live contract that you're obligated to a certain timeline, or you could have consequences financially for being in default. So this is a mistake that I see a lot of people make, that they don't understand that they need to begin engaging with the lenders early on in the process. And that is the inspection period. In the beginning of any contract, most of the time, there'll be a period of time where you're able to have inspections on the home. This is where you'll hire an inspector. Now, your realtor will help point you in the right direction for names of professional inspectors that can inspect the home. But this is a period of time when you're checking out. Does it work? Does it not work? Is there a lot of maintenance to be done on the home? Is this really the home that I want to purchase? In this period of time, a mistake that we see people make is they won't communicate with the lender, thinking that they need to wait until that inspection period is over to start engaging. Actually, that's not true. There's things that we need to get started on, because if we don't get started right when you're under contract and you're closing in around a 30-day period or less, that could not be enough time if you wait, let's say a week, to engage with the lender. So this is another really important and crucial part of the contract or process when you're really obligated and time is of essence. So my suggestion to you, after decades of experience seeing clients have troubles and challenges, is usually when they don't choose the lender right away and they hold off for whatever reason, things can get a little bit tight, and that's usually when mistakes are made. At the time that contract is signed, it's important that within a day or 2 maximum, you start engaging with your lender. Now, at this point, you might still have a couple of lenders that you're searching with and not knowing exactly who you're going to choose. This part of the process is where I see clients or see borrowers make a pretty big mistake, not knowing that by waiting to engage a lender too far after that contract is signed could have unforeseen circumstances. So I had a borrower one time that had been under contract for 10 days and he didn't call us. The realtor didn't call us. He didn't call us. We were just doing our normal customary follow-up with borrowers that we know at some point in the near future will look for houses. And he says, yeah, Jen, I've been under contract for 10 days and we're just finalizing our option period where we did inspections and we're closing 20 days from now. I said, you are? That only left us 20 days to do due diligence that more times than not takes 30. So I was scrambling to make sure that we had everything in order. Now, it worked out, but not all lenders are able to put pieces together in a different way to accommodate short timelines. So it's really important to understand that engaging a lender and narrowing down the lenders that you're going to choose early on in that contract process is crucial to making sure that all necessary deadlines can be met for that closing date. So this part of the process of finalizing the lending, you'll choose the lender, they'll lock in the interest rate for you. Now, that's another thing that we suggest, is that if you've got a short timeline until closing in under 30 days, the market is very volatile. I'm sure you see on the news, up, down, in any market, in any year. It's always been this way. It's a great idea to lock in that interest rate, which means it fixes that interest rate for you so that you don't have the risk of things going upwards before you're closing. That would be a pretty bad surprise. So the lender will walk you through that process of what that looks like. Now, at this point, when you choose a lender, the fee up front that you can expect to pay be your appraisal fee. So once the lender locks in your rate, you're going to get with your realtor to get inspections on the property. That's where you make sure things are working, etc. At that point, they're going to give you disclosures, etc. So this leads us into module number 4. We're in the home stretch. Now that you've chosen your lender, you're under contract, we're going to talk about the first 14 days of the process and that whole contract to close period of what you can expect now to the finish line. I'll see you in module number 4.